Have you ever felt like you didn't fit into your own skin? Like you were clumsy, awkward, and taking up too much space? Like everyone else had the manual for how to live life, but you were stumbling around, knocking things over, and making a mess? I ask this because when I went to the savannah to film the African elephant, I expected to film a creature of immense power. I expected to see a giant that made the earth shake, and I did. But what I didn't expect was how it all begins. I watched a calf being born, dropping from its mother onto the dusty, hard ground. It was a brutal entrance into the world, and for the first few minutes, this future giant was the most pathetic, clumsy thing I had ever seen. He couldn't stand up. His legs were like jelly. He would push himself up, wobble for a second, and then collapse in a heap of gray skin. He looked confused. He looked terrified. And honestly, watching him struggle to coordinate his four legs, I felt a deep pang of sympathy. It reminded me of every time I have started a new job, or walked into a room full of strangers, or tried to learn a new skill. You feel heavy. You feel uncoordinated. You feel like everyone is watching you fail. But then, I saw something that changed my perspective entirely. I saw the trunk. The mother reached out with her trunk, that massive, muscular tool that can rip down trees, and she touched him with the tenderness of a feather. She didn't push him. She didn't rush him. She just let him know she was there. And then, the others came. We often talk about the survival of the fittest, about how nature is cruel and solitary. But elephants tell a different story. As the baby struggled, the herd didn't leave him behind. They stopped. They turned. They gathered around him. I watched as aunts, sisters, and cousins formed a wall of gray mountains around this tiny, stumbling life. They created a fortress of flesh and bone. I felt a lump in my throat watching this, because I realized how often we humans try to survive alone. We think that asking for help is weakness. We think that we have to stand on our own 2 feet immediately, or we are failures. But here, in the wild, the strongest animals on land know the truth. You cannot survive alone. The baby elephant had to learn everything. And I mean everything. Have you ever watched a baby elephant try to use its trunk? It is hilarious, but also deeply relatable. He didn't know what it was. He tripped over it. He swung it around like a rubber hose. He tried to drink water with his mouth because he didn't understand the straw on his face. I laughed watching him, but it was a laugh of recognition. That is us. That is us trying to navigate our emotions, our relationships, our talents. We are given these powerful tools, but we don't know how to use them yet. We make mistakes, we make a mess, but the herd was patient. They waited, they nudged,
The adolescent
they
Asian
taught.
elephant now interacting with a
Then
baobab,
came the dry season.
stripping the bark,
The grass turned yellow, the ground cracked, and the sun became an enemy. This is where the story shifted from cuteness to survival. The calf was tired. I could see it in his eyes. The walk was too long for his little legs. He wanted to stop. He wanted to lie down. I felt his exhaustion. I think we all know that feeling. When the dry season of our life hits, when the excitement of the new beginning has faded, and now it is just work, just grinding, just walking through the heat with no reward in sight. But the calf kept moving. Why? Because he was following the matriarch, the grandmother, the leader. She wasn't walking randomly. She was walking with purpose. She was using a map that existed only in her mind. She remembered where the water was 10 years ago. She remembered the path that her mother had shown her. This is the power of memory. This is the power of wisdom. I watched the calf put his trunk on his mother's tail. He trusted her. He didn't know where they were going, but he knew who he was following. It made me think about the mentors in our lives, the elders, the people who have walked the path before us. Sometimes when we are lost in the dry season, we don't need a map. We just need to trust someone who has survived the drought before. When they finally reached the water, the celebration was incredible. They splashed, they trumpeted, they rolled in the mud. The joy was explosive. And looking at the calf, covered in mud, spraying water over his back, I realized he wasn't the clumsy baby anymore. The struggle of the walk had built his muscles. The heat of the sun had thickened his skin. He was growing into his power. Years later, I imagined what he would become. I looked at the massive bull elephant standing nearby, a creature so large that lions stepped aside when he walked. His tusks were scarred. His ears were tattered. He looked like an ancient mountain. But his eyes were gentle. That is the paradox of the elephant. They are the most dangerous animals if provoked, yet they are the most gentle souls if respected. They have the power to crush, but they choose to protect. This journey taught me that true strength is not about domination. It isn't about being the loudest voice in the room or the one who walks alone. True strength is the ability to be gentle when you have the power to be violent. True strength is the patience to wait for the weakest member of the herd. True strength is remembering where you came from and using that wisdom to guide others. If you are feeling small today, if you are feeling clumsy or lost or heavy, remember the elephant. You are not supposed to know everything right away. You are allowed to trip over your own trunk. And more importantly, you are not supposed to do this alone. Look for your herd. Look for your matriarch. And one day, after the long walk, you will realize that you have become the giant that others can lean on. Stand tall, remember your strength, and keep walking together.